Oh yeah, we're back with another Hot Toys figure. This one, as you can tell right here and by the thumbnail, is the Coruscant Guard from Season 7 of the Clone Wars. Very hyped about this one. Look at the video we just posted recently about the 501st Clone Trooper Hot Toys figure, the deluxe one. This will be a very similar video to that, except obviously it'll be a completely different figure. Let's get it started and open this puppy up. Crack that open. Oh boy. Ooh. Just opened the 501st a little bit ago, yet I am still very excited to see the Star Wars logo. I love that. I love that when you take the slip out and boom. We're gonna plop it here. I think that's the correct way, and there we go. Oh man. Oh, that looks awesome. So I just wanted to get the tape off of there. We're gonna slip this out. Wow. Here's the back. In case you wanted to see any of that. Oh, that's awesome. I said in the other video, and I'll say it again, I love these slip covers. Oh man, that never gets old. A little bit lighter on accessories than the 501st Trooper, which is understandable. Here we can see all the hands. And then that's pretty much it. Everything you see here is what he comes with, plus that. So once again, we're gonna get out all the accessories and then we'll take a look at the figure. As always, we got our wrist pegs. We got our DC-15 rifle, which is inaccurate. Check out the 501st video to see what I mean. And then we got our DC-15 carbine, very nice, with the stand slash stock. I believe it's a stand, actually, not a stock, because you can't even bring it around like that. What would that be, a monopod, I guess, because there's only one leg. Then we have the electro staff that you see the Coruscant Guard use in Season 7 of the Clone Wars. Very nicely detailed. See a little bit of bronze on there, or like little gold, brownish paint. Very nice. Here we have the accessories. We got the right open hand. Very nice. These are all reused hands, by the way. We got the right trigger finger. We've got a new hand. This is a new hand for holding the electro staff. We get a left pointer, a left trigger, and a left electro staff. He has open hands on the figure, I think. Then, of course, just like the 501st, we get the thermal detonators. We have the flat one, and we have the whole one. And lastly, we have the electro staff bits. Here is the stand for this guy. It's the same stand as the 501st, except the plate says Coruscant Guard. And it comes with a cradle and not the flight stand, since this guy does not have a jetpack. He's not flying around in the air, you know, so that makes sense. So I did technically already pick up the figure to get the base out so we could look at it real quick right there. But I didn't really get to look at it at all. I mean, this thing just looks amazing. Here we go, taking it out. Wow. All right, I'm gonna get him up, fixed up, take all this plastic off, you know, fix the armor pieces, and then we'll get a better look at him. So here he is out of the box, and man, does he look good. All of this painted detail is just amazing. If it'll focus, there we go. All the little paint scratches and little dings in there. Same with the chest, like that just looks amazing. All the scratch marks. It looks like it walked right out of Revenge of the Sith, because you know this is the same design as the Shock Trooper. It's just, you know, also called Coruscant Guard in Season 7 of the Clone Wars. But man, this really makes me wish we had a Phase 2 Commander Fox to go with this and display with him. That would be amazing. There are some weird things going on here. Each one of these clones seems to have its own subtle amount of differences between each other. First of all, this gap here, the legs are different. The legs are definitely different. If you remember the last video we did about the 501st clone, I had an issue where the legs, with the ratchets, would only move out like either really far or like really close. With this figure, there's just no ratchets going outwards anymore. They're still there going forwards. You can hear that. But there's no more going outwards. It's just you know, a regular joint, which is a good change. I really like that, because you know, you can get that really subtle sort of stance instead of either just perfectly straight out or like one click, which was like there. So that's really nice. Something not as good, I was moving the elbow. It kind of doesn't seem to go as far as the other figures, like the elbow bend. It only seems to go 90 degrees about. The other ones do go more. Here you can see I did get it more than 90, but the top joint in the double elbow is very stiff. You're not, on my copy at least, you can't get the double bend by just moving this part of the arm. You have to actively go back here and search for that joint and push it on its own for it to give you this nice larger than 90 degree bend. You also heard the ratchets on this arm. You can't really feel or hear them on this arm. It's completely, like, they're definitely there, but like they're barely there. You can kind of see there how they were stopping a little bit. This one, you can really hear and feel, whereas this arm, you kind of really can't. It's just kind of weird. This one's kind of same with that first joint. I'll try to show you here. See that right there? That was me pushing that top joint one click, a couple clicks, and now I can move that one. And then we get the deeper cut. So it does have good range. It's just when I first opened it up, I could only get it to move 90, and I was very confused. Another thing that is kind of weird that I didn't see that much on the others, you can see right there where the suit is bunching up underneath the armor plate and by the elbow pad. I haven't really seen a lot of that on the other figures. It's possible that I missed it, but it seems like a lot more prevalent, I guess, with this figure. And I don't want this video to be like super long, which is why I'm blowing through my little, gripes right here, so that maybe we can make this a shorter video, because people get it at this point. If you've watched the other videos, you get the Hot Toys figures, or if you have them. Another thing, I know this is not this is not the best angle, but like, I don't know, something with the suit up here is like just sitting kind of weird. You can see like right there how we got like this weird bunch, and like when you move the leg, it gets kind of bunchy. I don't know. So if you look right here, you can see that the legs are offset. So I'll take this leg and I'll move it one click back, and it's still offset. It doesn't line up with the other leg. I don't know exactly why this is. Something is rotated wrong in there, or something is like attached funnily, that's a word. But like, it's just, I don't know, it's like barely, it's like the legs are kind of rotated the wrong way. So I've kind of gotten it a little bit closer. I just kind of rotated. Luckily, what's good about all these clones is that these armor pieces, they kind of slide around. They move around. I don't know if they're even attached at all, really. They might just be sitting on the suit. But you can finick with the stuff in here, and you can rotate it around and try to get it to line up right. But even then, you can see now I got this big bunch right up in the thigh again. So that's not ideal, not really a deal breaker, but I'm just pointing out my first impressions and the things that I'm noticing right out of the box. Ultimately, it's not really that big of a deal. As you can see here, I got him in a nice, standing kind of fighting pose. Because once you get it posed up or something, you're not even really gonna see that. But I'm weird with stuff like that. The things have to be aligned properly, and I don't like things that are offset or things that are, there's little QC details that are wrong. But at the same time, it's really not that huge of a deal. Because when you look at this thing, like, all of that just kind of disappears when you get them in a crazy pose or something that you really like. Just all of the detail here is just insane. I believe the markings on here, like these specific scratches, are actually, coming right from the CG model of the Shock Trooper from Revenge of the Sith. I could be wrong. I think I saw that somewhere, where it's like all of the scratches are perfectly recreated from the actual Shock Trooper in the movie, which I think is just awesome. So here is everything he comes with out of the box, including the instruction manual. Got all the weapons over here, with the effect parts, all the hands, the stand. So not nearly as loaded with accessories as the Deluxe 501st, which, I mean, it makes sense. It's a Shock Trooper, you're not really gonna have much. Would have been cool if it came with like the jetpack and the backpack and all that, yeah, but that's not really what these guys kind of did. They were more just kind of standing there and guarding stuff. Like we see in Season 7 of the Clone Wars, where they're guarding over Maul. So I think this is a pretty good set of accessories, drops the price a bit. We have our accessory-packed figures like the 501st, and then we have our more lighter figures like the Coruscant Guard, which still has a decent array of stuff. Because let's be real, like, what pose are you going to have your Coruscant Guard in, other than standing guard by something? Or like, very light action poses. So here's the display base with the plastic taken off. You can see the Coruscant Guard plate there. You can also see me, hey. And the cradle just plugs in like that, and you can have the figure resting there. All right, here we have the Coruscant Guard in the cradle on the base, which is a basic pose. He's standing there holding the electro staff with the effect parts added on. They look really cool attached to the figure. I'm gonna try to be a little more cinematic with this video, I guess. You know, looking around the figure while I talk about it. I guess I've done that before, but you can see down the boots here. I love the detail on these boots. You got a little bit of dirt on the soles there too, which looks really cool. A lot of gray, you know, splattered detail, paint fading on the kneecaps there. You can kind of adjust all these pieces and make them look a little bit nicer. Right here, those nice side details. Looking very cool, looking a lot like what we see in the Clone Wars, and especially what we see in Revenge of the Sith. I really want a Commander Fox now. Commander Fox did nothing wrong, by the way, just so you know, just pointing that out. Just look at the back of the figure, because I didn't get too great of a look at that. Not too much to look at, just more awesome paint detail that we've seen before. You got little gray bands on the back of the knee pads there. I'm not sure how accurate that is. I think some clones have this, some don't. Booty shot, you got the detonator back there, nice belt. Even on the back here, it's not as detailed, but there's still so much little paint details that go into that it really doesn't matter, because it looks great. And most of the damage is going to be on the front anyway, since that is where you're, you know, facing battle or whatever. The elbow pads, just all of this amazing paint detail. Here's a cool sort of, he's over there, you know, kind of pose, you know, sending his guys to go after Maul. Got him standing, you know, in a slightly, you know, splayed out pose, slightly action-y. But again, awesome details. I kind of went over it already, so I'm not going to do as much as before. Now we're just kind of showing off some interesting poses. I'm going to do this again for you. Did this for the 501st Trooper. Now you're sideways. Just turn your head, whatever. Looks pretty cool. Once again, I will also have photos at the end, a little slideshow. Here's a pretty simple one. We got him just talking into his comm, holding a detonator. Just looking pretty cool, looking badass as per usual with these guys. Really cool. You can put them in any kind of pose and they look amazing in the display on a shelf. One thing I kind of just noticed, ooh, sorry about the light changing in and out in here, but the red on the belt, right there you can kind of tell. The belt red and the red on the body are very slightly different. This red is like barely a little bit darker. Maybe from farther away you can kind of see as the light changes again. But I don't know, it's probably just because of the material. This is a really soft, flexible material, since this has to be pushed around a lot. You know, you gotta have it moving around compared to, you know, plastic. But it's slightly a different color. Not even really enough to get upset about, but I just wanted to point it out. I really wish you could see it better across here. You can definitely tell a lot better in person. Right there, you can kind of see. All right, here we got a kind of fun one. We got him holding the long rifle, as you can see here, which is always painted very nice, but is inaccurate, as I've talked about in the 501st video. Check that out if you want to learn more. But he's up here holding the detonator. He's got the rifle, looking really nice. We'll go vertical again for you, and then we'll bring it back. Very cool, very epic. One thing I've noticed with all of these Hot Toys clones is that the trigger hand is always really hard to maneuver. It's really hard to get a weapon actually in the hand. You really got to force it. It kind of hurts your fingers a little bit trying to, you know, pull it out to get just the mark to put in my finger. But it really takes a lot to get the weapon in there. I get why, you know, like for security, so it stays in when you're posing, it doesn't flop out. But if you look at like one of these hands, these fingers are significantly softer, and then like the trigger finger about the same, but these guys just really, I don't know, they're just probably because they're all sculpted together and it's, you know, just a big clump and they're molded in that angle, but they really don't like coming apart. It can be a chore to get the weapon in there. All right, so we got the electro staff again, except I got the open hand sort of bracing it there, kind of pose like that, I guess. This should probably be, moved down a little bit. There we go. But yeah, this thing just looks awesome. It's going to be even better once the Hot Toys Maul comes out from Season 7. He comes with the sarcophagus, I'm pretty sure. So I could have this guy standing guard. Oh man, if I got two, I could get two, but, that's a lot of money. I'd rather have one of each than two of these guys and miss out on another figure, you know, it'll be fine as it is. If you want a shock trooper standing guard over your display, then get one of these. If you love the 501st and you want a 501st to stand next to Anakin or Ahsoka or Rex, then get one of those. Or be like me and blow your money and get both. Here's a little comparison between the 501st clone and the Coruscant Guard clone. As you can see, what I was talking about earlier with the legs, this is the first click on the outward ratchets. If you go one click in, the legs are like perfectly straight. So that's the smallest gap you can get. With the change that they made, you can get, you know, not necessarily as wide of a stance. You can get a better looking stance, more natural stance. Aside from that, they both look amazing. All the parts are the same, I believe. Obviously, a lot of internal stuff is different. Like, we don't have, you know, all the joints are kind of different. You got the ratchets here that you don't have here anymore. They look awesome together, even though they're not really even in the same group. You can kind of say they were. They were both on the Siege of Mandalore, you know, fighting together, I guess. Well, Coruscant Guard was kind of just there. Here he is with the OG Commander Cody, their first clone figure, Hot Toys' first clone figure. What's weird is I actually just noticed this guy is a little bit lighter than this guy and the 501st guy. There's more weight in these newer ones. Obviously, the Cody doesn't have all the ratchet joints that these guys have, and he's got his own unique parts like the helmet, the chest, and the shoulder pads. Well, the chest is probably just this glued onto it. For the most part, everything is identical. Something else that I brought up earlier is the gap here, as well as my 501st video, but you can see the gap here is not nearly as big as it is on these guys. I'm not sure which one I prefer because this is more accurate, but this gives you a lot of range. Like, if we look at how much this leg can move out, I mean, look at that. That is crazy. Cody only goes about there. So they've done something with the undersuit or the parts or something to make it so you can have a lot more range. It's just unfortunate that Cody doesn't have those developments, I guess. And here's another comparison. Here we have the Star Wars Black Series Bad Batch Shock Trooper Commander. I don't have the old Shock Trooper from that Entertainment Earth 4-pack because that thing is crazy expensive. Really not a fan of this figure. I'm not a fan of this clone body in general. You can check out that video, which will be linked down below if you would like to learn more. But obviously there's no comparison, which is fair because this is what, like a $30 figure, and this is like $100-$200 figure, so there isn't really comparison. That's just, you know, if you want to see the height, I'll try to get them flat-footed. The angle might look off, but that's about how tall a Black Series figure is for one of these. So yeah, there's that comparison. I just want to point out that messing with one of these for a couple hours and then immediately picking up a 6-inch figure just feels so weird. It feels so like tiny in my hands. Like, it's just a really odd experience jumping from that for a while right to one of these. Plus the size, you know, you can't have this much detail in something this small. Well, you can, but not for the price point that these go for. Real quick, I just want to point out that you can get scuffs on the Electro staff. You can see there we got some of the black from the hands rubbing off. I feel like that's just kind of inevitable with a figure like this. To get the hands wrapped around, you kind of have to flex them, and, you know, you're going to get paint scuffs and whatnot. But, you know, I don't mind it too much. It actually, you know, matches the rest of the figure being all, you know, battle damaged and all that. Here we have a pretty generic pose, what a lot of people will probably use in their displays. You know, if they get 2 of these and they want to display the Maul sarcophagus, they'll get 2 guys standing just kind of up like this, holding the staff, guarding it like that. This is probably what I'm gonna have him up as right now. I don't have a lot of space, so I kind of have to keep their profiles a little. The amount of space they take up has to be a little smaller. Their volume, I guess. Tilt the head and get a little attitude into that pose. That looks really cool. Alright, thank you so much for watching this unboxing of the Hot Toys Coruscant Guard 1/6 scale figure. Definitely pick one up if you've been looking to get one, or any of the Hot Toys clones, honestly. They're all really good. Make sure to check out the other Hot Toys unboxings we have on the channel. We already have the Hot Toys Commander Cody, the Hot Toys Deluxe 501st clone, and coming soon after this video, we'll be posting an unboxing for the Hot Toys Captain Rex figure, which, spoiler alert, is really awesome. Hope you enjoy the slideshow of images up on the screen now that I took while I was messing around with the figure, and we will talk to you guys again very soon.
Hello.